active build-up of a war-like situation currently unfolding in West Asia, with hundreds of people dead, more than 900 people dead in Israel and over 700 Palestinians dead. The situation is only escalating. What sort of impact will it have on Israeli markets? To talk about that, my colleague Kartik Malhotra joining us here in the studio. As far as the equities market, the markets, broader markets in Israel is concerned, there is no immediate impact. At least from what we are looking at, TA35, the stock exchange, is up 1.2%.
1.2% this morning. In fact, on Monday, we had seen the stock markets in Israel had tanked about 6%, recovered 0.5% on Tuesday, down again about 1.2% or so today. So overall, I think the markets have taken it well on their chin, and not much really to worry about when it comes to specific stock markets of Israel. But I think what is of concern definitely is the import-export trade with Israel and the rest of the world. In addition to that, we are looking at the Israeli currency, shekel, being devalued. It has lost about 11% this year already. And the open market operations that the central bank in Israel is doing by selling about $30 billion worth of forex to keep the currency under check. If we can just pull up those pie charts and take a look at what really is likely to get impacted with this ongoing conflict.
So before I let you go, on to explaining what the economy and how the economy is doing, what is the economic mix of Israel for an average viewer?
So I think, Shweta, it's fair to assume that Israel is a fairly large mixed economy. Its main trade happens to be diamonds, happens to be ammunitions, weaponry, technology circuitry around technology. Agriculture plays a small part in the overall mix, just about 2.5% or so. It's not really an agrarian society, but it's high on tech, it's high on precision tech. It's high on, again, tech with respect to cutting and polishing of diamonds becomes a major, mix within the economy. Trade of oil, petroleum products, import of cars, all these are very, very crucial, vital elements when it comes to the economy of Israel keeping afloat. Now, even if you look at the population mix, you've got about 60% of the population under the age of 15. And the next bulk of that, about 25%, 28% of the population is in the age group between 35 to 55. So you've actually got young children and you've got their parents occupying the size of the population. The core working population between 20 to 35 is limited, and the senior citizens 60 and above, in fact 75 and above, are just about 5% or so of the population. Now, so we've got it here on our screens, and maybe we could just walk across and take our viewers through what this mix really looks like. Now, what is at stake in this ongoing war right now? Let's look at the exports and let's look at the imports when it comes to Israel. What does Israel import? Israel imports diamonds, imports cars, imports broadcast equipment, integrated circuits, and refined petroleum. The numbers that you're seeing here, 6.73, 5.1, 2.5 are billion dollars worth. So overall, the pie is adding up to about $15 billion worth of imports that Israel does. Compare this to the countries where these imports are really coming from. These imports are coming from China. These imports are coming from the US. These imports are coming from Turkey. These imports are coming from Germany and are coming from Switzerland. So these are the countries which are directly likely to get impacted. China, US, Turkey, Germany, and Switzerland, in case this conflict continues, and it seems like it's not going to end anytime soon. So China, US, Turkey, Germany, Switzerland will get maximum restrictions when it comes to imports, and a direct impact on the Israel economy is going to show signs of distress even in these 5 economies. Sector specifically impacted, diamonds being a sector which also impacts India, because India exports diamonds, not in as much measure as China does, but India exports diamonds to Israel. Let's move on to the next graphic and just look at, what are the other areas which are likely to get impacted. Now, let's look at the exports. Now, contrast this with China being the biggest exporter to Israel. Israel's maximum exports go to US, followed by China, followed by UK. India is a sizable export market for Israel. So 5% of Israel's total production is exported out to India. And overall, this entire mix is about 47% or so to the rest of the world. Now, if the conflict continues, which again is likely, then the currency of Israel is going to be further under attack. So the currency has already, like I told you, lost about 11% this year and is continuing to lose steam. Now, as a result of that, the Central Bank of Israel is undertaking open market operations through which $30 billion worth of forex is being sold to keep the economy and to keep the currency, you know, in some sort of a measure of check, so it doesn't get devalued anything beyond what we've already seen.
All right. So from what we look like, India is going to be directly impacted as far as exports is concerned. How about imports? Because we have an import surplus. You know,
absolutely. So our surplus,
Israel.
our trade surplus with Israel is about $6 billion, which means India exports more to Israel than Israel exports to India, or India imports from Israel.
Right.
So, but 6% overall in the larger scheme of a $266 billion trade deficit that we have, current account deficit that we have, is actually just a drop in the ocean, or maybe, you know, at best a bucket in the ocean, nothing more than that. But I think the larger impact is going to happen to China, to US, to Switzerland, to Turkey, to Germany, which are the larger trade, business partners of Israel.
All right. So if manufacturing and demand in Israel takes a beating, there is no likely direct impact on India as such.
So,
apart from exports,
obviously the indirect petroleum impact is going to directly impact the Indian economy, because that is a conflict which is happening in the whole region, not restricted to one single city of Israel, one single country of Israel alone. So if you have Iran, if you have Saudi participation escalating further into the war, then obviously oil is going to be under pressure. And that's going to have an impact on global inflation, global economy, where India may not be insulated.